Jack Johnson, born John Arthur Johnson on March 31, 1878 in Galveston, Texas, was an American boxer and the first African-American heavyweight champion of the world. He held the title from 1908 to 1915, and his reign as champion is considered to be one of the most significant moments in the history of sports and race relations in the United States. Johnson's early life was marked by poverty and hardship. He was the second of 5 children born to Henry and Tina Johnson, who were former slaves. Johnson's father worked as a janitor and his mother worked as a laundress. Despite the difficult circumstances, Johnson was determined to succeed and began boxing at a young age. He quickly gained a reputation as a skilled and powerful boxer and began to compete in local fights in Texas and around the country. In 1902, Johnson moved to New York City to pursue a career in professional boxing. He quickly made a name for himself in the boxing world, and by 1908, he had earned the opportunity to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. At the time, the heavyweight champion was Tommy Burns, who was white. The fight was highly publicized and was seen as a battle between the white and black races. Despite the racial tensions surrounding the fight, Johnson emerged victorious, becoming the first African-American heavyweight champion of the world. Johnson's reign as champion was marked by controversy and racism. Many white people were unhappy that a black man held the title, and there was a strong push to find a great white hope who could defeat Johnson and take back the title for the white race. Johnson faced numerous challenges from white boxers, but he was able to defeat them all, cementing his status as the best heavyweight boxer in the world. In 1913, Johnson was arrested on charges of violating the Mann Act, a federal law that prohibited the transportation of women across state lines for immoral purposes. The charges were widely seen as a pretext for targeting Johnson because of his race and his relationships with white women. Johnson was convicted and sentenced to prison, and he was forced to give up his heavyweight title. Johnson was released from prison in 1920 and returned to the boxing world, but he was never able to regain his heavyweight title. He continued to fight, but his career was in decline and he was never able to reclaim his status as the best boxer in the world. He retired from professional boxing in 1938, and he died in a car accident in 1946. Johnson's legacy is one of both triumph and tragedy. On one hand, he was a trailblazer for African-American athletes and a symbol of black excellence. He broke down barriers and showed that a black man could be the best in the world at something. On the other hand, his life was marked by racism and injustice. He was targeted by the government and the media because of his race and his relationships with white women. He was a symbol of black resistance and resilience, but he was also a victim of the systemic racism that existed in the United States during his time. Despite the challenges he faced, Johnson's legacy lives on today. He is still remembered as one of the greatest boxers of all time, and his story continues to inspire people around the world. His life and career were a powerful reminder of the struggle for equality and the importance of perseverance in the face of adversity. He will always be remembered as a pioneering figure in the history of sports and race relations in the United States. Johnson's legacy has also been recognized by the United States government. In 2018, the U.S. Congress passed a resolution to posthumously pardon Johnson, citing the racial prejudice and injustice that led to his conviction and imprisonment. The resolution was signed by President Donald Trump in May 2019, officially granting Johnson a full and unconditional pardon. This act of posthumous pardon serves as a symbol of the United States government's acknowledgement of the injustice that was done to Johnson, and it serves as a reminder that even though he never received the justice he deserved during his lifetime, his legacy will continue to inspire future generations. Johnson's legacy can also be seen in the way he influenced the sport of boxing. He was known for his unorthodox fighting style, and his fights were known for their excitement and spectacle. He was also known for his showmanship, often taunting his opponents and relishing in his victories. His style and attitude towards the sport were a stark contrast to the more reserved and traditional approach of many of his white contemporaries. He paved the way for future boxers of color to express themselves in the ring and to showcase their talents. Johnson's legacy also extends beyond the sport of boxing. He was a trailblazer for African American athletes in all sports. He was the first African American to hold a world heavyweight title in any sport, and his success in the ring helped to pave the way for future generations of black athletes to break down barriers in their respective sports. Johnson's legacy is also remembered in the way he lived his life outside the ring. He was a flamboyant figure who enjoyed the luxuries and pleasures of life. He was also a philanthropist, and he was known for his generosity towards those less fortunate. He was a role model for many young black men, showing them that they too could succeed in life and that they should be proud of their heritage and culture. Jack Johnson was a pioneering figure in the history of sports and race relations in the United States. He was the first African American heavyweight champion of the world, and his reign as champion is considered to be one of the most significant moments in the history of sports and race relations. He broke down barriers and showed that a black man could be the best in the world at something. His life was marked by racism and injustice, but his legacy lives on today. He is remembered as a trailblazer for African American athletes, a symbol of black excellence, and a reminder of the struggle for equality and the importance of perseverance in the face of adversity. Johnson's legacy will continue to inspire future generations, and his posthumous pardon serves as a reminder that even though he never received the justice he deserved during his lifetime, his legacy will continue to live on.